Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 34 of the Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast. This episode is brought to you by Phantom Carriage Brewery. It's a horror-themed brewery located in Carson, California. They have really good food, really great beers, and they have a movie theater that's constantly playing old-school horror movies. It's a great time, and if you swing by the bar, tell them that the podcast sent you, and you'll get 10% off your bill. This podcast is also brought to you by Gamefly. If you go to rockandrollbeerguy.com, there's a link there that says Gamefly offer. Click it, and you'll get a 30-day free trial with Gamefly that'll send you one game to your house. They have over 8,000 titles for every console available, and they ship it right to your door. In this episode, I talked to Kelley Juett. He's a guitarist and vocalist for the band Mothership. I actually met him out at Psycho Las Vegas, and we had set up to do the podcast there, but we ended up partying instead. So we talk a little bit about that. We also talk about the music scene and culture, and we go in deep. I had a great time talking to him, and I hope you enjoy. Cheers.
What's up, man?
There we go. All right.
Yeah. What you been up to, bro? Been doing all right?
Doing all right, man. Just staying busy.
That's good, man. Busy's good, right? I mean, fuck.
I guess, right? I mean...
Better than sitting on your ass not doing a damn thing, right?
I don't know. Sometimes that sounds good.
Yeah, actually, that's what I've been doing for about 2 weeks, and it's been fucking awesome, dude. It's rare in my life to be able to not have to do shit or go somewhere, get in the fucking van, you know.
I hear you, man. It's fun when you get to a little time off. I never do, even if I do have the time off. My mind's always like, well, fuck, I should be writing something. I should be doing something, you know.
You feel guilty almost.
Yeah. I can't even enjoy video games anymore. It was like a big deal for me. And I'm playing, and I'm just like constantly looking at my clock, like, fuck, I gotta stop playing. Like, just fuck.
Yeah, I got some shit to do or something.
Yeah, I'll make some shit up to do. You know, there's always something to be doing if you're trying to be if you're trying to do something. I guess like in a band, or if you have a product.
Yeah,
you're trying
to make your own way. It's like you got to work all the fucking overtime, man. You know, if you love what you're doing and fucking put it all in.
Yeah. So, welcome everyone to the Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast. I am with Kelley Juett. I was saying that right?
What?
Juett.
Well, yeah, Juett.
Juett. All right.
Yeah, you can just say it like I say, like Nike, just do it, but Juett. Juett. Right. Kelley Juett.
And you play guitar and you sing in Mothership with your brother, Kyle?
Yeah, Mothership from Dallas, Texas, yeah.
Dallas, Texas.
A heavy rock and roll band.
I would say so. I would call it rock and roll.
Hell yeah, but
it's old school sounding, man. It's like everything I've heard. It's just about having a good time and drinking and just rocking, you know, which is what I grew up on.
Exactly, like bringing people together, man. Like that's kind of the point of music and coming in a live setting is you all come out honestly to enjoy yourselves, enjoy people's company, and you know, rock and roll, like have a good time, man. And I think this day and time, people think it's such like, you know, they go up there and do this, you know, avant-garde thing and they're away from it. It's like, man, we're just like everyone else. We want to come bullshit and hang out and fucking party with everyone else, you know. And I think that's lost in music these days. It's the real like soul behind the music, you know. But
yeah, there is definitely I mean, I can feel it. A lot of musicians are out there just doing the thing just for money or for fame or whatever. And then it's also different. I guess there's different groups of I don't know what to call it, but just it's different groups. Like you guys, I put you in the same like group of folks as like Mastodon and Sleep and stuff like that, because not just because you're all orange artists, but you know, also because they, you know, it all has a common vibe. Everybody gets together, we have a good time, we fucking drink, we smoke, and we chill. Yeah, you know, some other groups of musicians they take themselves a little too seriously. You know, and a lot, and it's fine. Everything has its place. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, to each their own. But at the same time, it's like, can't just be a real dude with someone, you know, it's like someone's above someone because they're in this band or they have this clout. That's what you know, it's like, just fucking hang out with it, you know, like, be a human being like you are. But yeah, I totally get that, because I've run across many of the same thing. Just, it blows my mind, you know, just, it's hard to find the real people, you know, real knows real. And I think that's kind of how you keep, you know, kind of following their same ideology, you know?
Hell yeah. I mean, the second I walked in, so we met in Vegas.
Hell yeah.
At Psycho Las Vegas. And like the second I walk in that room, I'm like, oh, this is going to be cool. Like, it wasn't more, I was worried because, you know, it's Vegas and there's a million fucking people there. So I wasn't really sure what I was walking into.
Yeah, for sure.
But when I walked in, I was stoked, man. You guys are partying, having a good time.
Yeah, man. We luckily got to do last year, so I kind of had at least a heads up. But yeah, man, it's the bands this year were insane. I mean, King Diamond, Ace Frehley, Gojira, Sleep, Melvins, Carcass Rule, Neurosis, COC. Dude. I mean, just keep going. Like, every band was like, it was like a super group of festival, like kind of European style, which I think is the whole Psycho Presents is doing a bunch of great stuff. I think he's trying to bring that. The mentality of people are going to travel when you put on an event, that there's a fuck ton of bands and every one of them are cool dudes that jam and hang out, and it's like a rock and roll high school reunion, man, just for all the rejects. But
yeah, dude, yeah, and it's Vegas too, which is like, you know, everybody feels like it's the Wild West, like, you know, they can do whatever the fuck they want, so everybody's just kind of let loose, you know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Especially like in the casino, it's like everything. You never have to technically, like, there's sometimes this year, like last year I got out more and did some shit, but like there's a couple times this year that I think it was almost 2 days before I'd even like gone by a door or walked outside of the casino. It's like you get in this time warp and all of a sudden you're like, where did those 4 days go, man? Like what just happened?
Yeah, and you don't even know what time it is. They make it so you don't know what time it is in the casino. They don't want you to know.
Yeah.
They want you to be like, hey, yeah, just keep drinking, keep gambling. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, it's midnight. It's party time.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Here's another free drink. Stop asking questions.
Yeah, shut up and just do what I tell you. I thought that was great about the fucking elevators, and that was a prime example of what you're saying. You'd get in, if you didn't have your card primed, all right, we're shooting you down to the first floor, out on the casino floor, go spend your fucking money, you know, like, there'd be times I was trying to go to my friend's room, like, I was on, you know, 8 going up to 9, but I'm, oh shit, my card, and before I know it, it's already halfway down to like 4, 3, all right, you're at the casino, all right, I guess I'll stay, I guess I'll go spend money, I guess I'll hang out.
Yeah, man. I lucked out a couple times. Where like, oh shit, I don't have a key, and then like somebody else is in there, and they're like, "What floor are you going to?" They just did it for me. I'm like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Once it got to the end, everyone got the gig down. It's like one person scans it. Everyone's like, "What are you going? Hi, fucking hit me up." That was great, man. It was awesome to get that.
If you're carrying any kind of beer or any kind of alcohol with you, people are your friend. Like at one point, I'm taking beer up to Alex's room in the cooler, and it's just the dudes in the elevator are like, "What's up? What's in the cooler?"
Yeah, what you got, bro?
What's up,
nothing. Yeah, what you got? No, but it was cool to get to play that and open. We basically opened the main stage, which was a cool feat for our band. So I think it was cool. We had a huge turnout for the first show. Nothing else was going on, and it was pretty killer, man. I built an orange pyramid, which is pretty fucking epic. And yeah, man, we were just stoked to be a part of it, and hopefully some stuff in the future will be going down. And yeah, we had a good time, and it was definitely great hanging out with a bunch of buds you don't get to see all the time, you know. Everyone's so busy that it kind of makes it pretty cool, dude. So it was a blast.
For sure, man. Isn't that kind of a bummer, man? Like you have friends that if you're on the same thing, which is, you know, hitting the road or being busy, like you really don't get to hang with your friends as much as as people think. Heck, your fans are friends; they can become friends and shit, you know. And you meet people at shows and they're friendly, but it's not like your boys, you know. From like,
for sure. It's very few and far between you get to like downtime. I'm like, I'm gonna hang out with a childhood buddy or someone I knew for over 10 years. You know, it's like I know a couple of buddies that it's funny. A lot of kids people my age are all, you know, the whole fit in the scheme kind of thing where it's like, all right, I hit 30s, I'm gonna have 3 kids and a house and fucking 8 cars, you know what I mean, like that whole typical fucking. And it's funny that like I haven't talked to a lot of those guys that I grew up with, like soccer with growing up, you know, hanging out with 24/7, and it's crazy that like a 10-year span of that, it's like someone's a completely different person in a completely different world of where they were 10 years ago. It just blows my mind. But
yeah, dude, it's hard. For me, it's been hard to get over some of it. Like, I'll hit up a friend from high school or something I'll see them. Like, actually, like 2 days ago, I talked to a buddy of mine from high school on a video game. That's where I caught him. Like, I jumped online on the PlayStation and he was playing. I'm like, yo, how you been?
What's up?
Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, 2 kids, he went to the Marines. Like, it's a whole other life. I'm like, wait, you're not like partying and doing the same thing I did back in high school?
Yeah, like busting beer bottles on your head and fucking smashing through fences, dude. Like, what happened?
Yeah, what happened, bro?
What happened, bro?
You're an adult now. What is this shit? Take
you had to grow up.
Off.
Fuck. No, that's funny.
No, it is funny. I give all my. I'm actually that situation. Like, all of my friends have kids, and if they don't have kids, they're on their way for sure. Like all my old band members, my guitarist is pregnant now with, they've been together for like 20 years and finally having a baby. And
nice.
That's because we took I think it all worked out. We took a little hiatus, took a break, and it was like, oh, babies.
Yeah.
There
we got the chance.
This is the time. Now, do it.
What's the name of your band you jam in, man?
Dissever. I sang in that band for about 10 years out in Florida. We did a few tours. Yeah, we did a few tours. We played Texas a couple times, but it was I don't even know what to call it. Music. It went up
like
and down.
Heavy shit, or what was it?
It's like, yeah, it's heavy. But like one song will be punk-ish,
cool.
Like really, and then the next song will be a fucking 12-minute like prog metal song.
Damn, that's.
And then the next song is a 3.5 banger that's like a radio, like you can hear on the radio, like I'm singing, I'm not doing any screaming at all. Song. Yeah, just rocking out, singing.
Well, I think that's a great band, man. I think that's kind of how Mothership is. It's technically like someone could give you a different explanation of what they get from your band or your music, and I think that's like the ultimate compliment, because it's like you've got your sound. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say, oh, I sound like Black Sabbath.
Right.
Like, it's impossible. I think if it's hard to explain your band to people or like all over them, man, that's fucking great, because that's unique. You're not like, oh, I'm this certain band. It's like, well, fuck, dude. Every song, like our songs, we take one could be a rocker, one could be a stony jam, one could be a fucking thrash metal. It's whatever we're feeling in the music. It's cool, dude. That's tight.
Sure, yeah.
Dissever,
like when
Sever
you're severing something. Yeah. The act of severing.
Cool. That's cool. That's a tight name, actually.
Yeah, and see, that's the other thing too. Like, everybody would hear the name, they're like, "Oh, you guys are a death metal band or something." It's like,
yeah, well, that's what I was thinking, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll come on stage and start singing about love and shit, and girls are like, "What?"
What?
Yeah, it was just weird, because we got together with like no pretense. It was just like, "Hey, I like music. You like it too, right? Let's do a thing."
Hell yeah.
And it was whatever came out. Like, okay, this song, super heavy, one of the heaviest things you've ever heard, Meshuggah like, and like super intense fucking time signatures, and nothing you could bang your head to. Yeah, as complicated as possible. Like, it would take us weeks upon weeks of practicing the song over and over and still fucking up every time. Like get to a part, it's like, fuck, no, it's supposed to be 2 and 3, not whatever. And none of us really like wrote, like, we don't know music, so it was more like our drummer is a drum teacher, so he knows music, but all the rest of us, it was more like, hey, in that part you should go da-da-da-da-da instead of
like, wait, what? Oh, yeah.
In that one part where you go, yeah, I'm gonna scream there. All right.
Yeah, but it's like the third or the fourth time of the verse. No, the second verse. That's the entryway. Everyone has a different like explanation for the part two. Always, they're like, no, but it's like the pre verse chorus fucking riff. Like, oh, that one. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah, dude. We would have writing sessions, and like people would come over, because we would always have band practice. It was twice a week, and we had this enormous house with people who can come and hang out and drink, and we would do that every Wednesday and Sunday, but. Sometimes people would show up and we're writing a new song, and like you could see the crowd just dwindling. It was like, all right, we had 20 people. Now there's 10. Now there's 2 dudes,
Yeah.
and they're just like trying to break it down with us. They're trying to help us figure this.
Yeah, one of them
out.
passed the one being an eighth band member. That's great, dude. That's fucking great.
So I looked up online. I saw you got your own signature guitar coming out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy. Through Bolt Guitars, they're out of the UK,
Nice.
and just a little small company, but he's just taking a little, getting going. He's got a couple bands, a dude, Tomas Monolord. They're a sick fucking heavy band out of Sweden. Elephant Tree, another great UK band, has got a guitar coming, but he's been hooking up with a bunch of this young talent, and he basically made 3 different types. It's the Galaxy editions are 3 different types, and for the colors. And basically, what he did is do a pre-order, and he was just like, let's just we'll sell a couple and see what's up. You're gonna get one of each, no matter what. But so basically, put up a pre-order within 2 months, and he sold 18 of these fucking guitars, dude. And it's fucking,
Sick.
it blows my mind. I thought 18, and I'm like. And they're affordable, which is where it's at. He's not trying to make money at this. He just really wants to he wants to get his shit going, And I think he's got a great concept in mind, and he's working with some good dudes. But I mean, I thought with one person would buy a guitar with mine, my signature guitar. That's rad, 18, and he's all wanting to try to start doing another production. I think he does an 18 run production run basically, and then gets them all set up, and then they're all get sent out. But yeah, man, they're fucking crazy, and there's a couple different options for different styles. That's kind of why we went with 3 different ones. It's basically all mahogany body with a flame maple top, but the fretboard's different. So there's a ash fretboard, a little thinner sound, and then the rosewood, which is a typical heavier sounding. But it'll be cool, man. I think if any kind of style music you like playing, and got to maybe have some other stuff in the works, but yeah, Flying V's are what I've always played, and it's crazy to have my own, and that people are into it. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's super sick, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking nice. It's still today. I'm I can't wait to get one. We met him in the UK when we toured, and mine come in about 3 weeks. So I've been getting progress pics, but I'm like, dude, I just want that in my hand, But I got a telly, kind of zebra wood telly that he made, and I got one in the UK when we met him, and they're great guitars. They sound fucking badass. And Zombie Dust Pickups makes me some custom pickups. He's out of the UK, and they're basically hot rodded Seymour Duncans, and so those are going in them. And yeah, man, it's a cool thing. They're doing a bass line now, so it's Mothership's taking off, brother. It's good shit right now. It's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys put out an album this year, 2017. The High Strangeness.
Yeah, High Strangeness.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, 3rd record, and first one we recorded with a new dude. It's a guy named Ryan Lee. He plays in a band called Crip Trip, a young cat. I think he's 22 and lives down in Austin. But yeah, we had always just known him, and we just wanted to try something fresh. And it was in a weird time as a band, and we were touring as much as we had. I think we had maybe 3 or 4 ideas, but I mean, we had been touring for 6 months, and then we got home. I want to say it would have been January. It would have been, let's see, I don't know, December of the year before, and we had literally 25, 30 days off before we went on another 3-month tour. But we had to have these masters in to the label to get shit pressed for a March release of the year. So it was one of those things that literally we went in the jam room, and within got all the ideas hashed out. And so technically within I think it was 18 days, we wrote and then recorded in 3 days a record. And so it's way more natural than all of our others, kind of not forced, and we're stoked on it, man. The production and the art is sick as fuck. Adam Burke did this oil painting on it with this galaxy space chick with lions and planets, and it's fucking the old Franzetta kind of sci-fi art stuff. So I think it's a package. It's our favorite. It's our best to date. And I think as a band, it should be each most recent record should be your best. I think you should constantly progress as a band, and I believe we have on this one, man.
Awesome, dude. That's good to hear. I agree with you, man. I think every album should be a progression. Never take a step back. I mean, maybe the progression goes in a different direction for a lot of bands. I've seen, but and they will lose. I don't get how the fans just don't go. I guess whatever. Everybody has an opinion, but a lot of a lot of musicians.
I can see both sides.
Yeah. You can see both sides because you like a band for one thing, and then if they change it up on you,
Yeah, but at the same time, like I know you're thinking, it's like as an artist, you got to respect artistic creativity, and like some fans, I don't think can see that aspect. I think like you do, and a lot of people do, but like, well, fuck, come on, like if they're not feeling that, they're not going to write that. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
People don't, I don't see through the cloak, but
yeah, they don't understand the 40-something-year-old dudes that were in a heavy, fast, hardcore band are not as angry as they were when they were teenagers and started doing this.
Yeah, teenage angst. Yeah.
They've got kids. They've got
It's all. Mike Ness comes to mind. You like Social Distortion? I like Social D a whole lot, but Mike Ness comes to mind in that because he's like Hellraiser, fucking punk rock rat rodder, 18-year-old out in Southern California, and now it's like, he's way grown up now. He's still like that punk vibe, but he's totally just like a laid back hot rod garage chiller now. And it's like his songs reflect that, which is fucking badass. But that's fucking that's funny. I'm gonna be like Angus Young though, bro. Like, I'm gonna be up there still doing fucking guitar solos with spinning on my back when I'm fucking 70 years old. That's my goal. Like,
Nice.
I think that's with our music. We just try to write. I think music that'll stand the test of time, and that's how I want to put it, because I think people write music for fads, like you said, to be cool at a time, but I want to be like the Zeppelins and AC/DCs and the Black Sabbaths, like Hendrix, Deep Purple, shit that people are jamming now more than ever, and that was written back in the 70s and in the 80s, and it wasn't something now that's written, and who knows who Sleep's gonna, I love that band, but honestly, in like 20 more years, is people going to be as into that as they still would be as Led Zeppelin and the classic bands as ZZ Tops, and that's the kind of band I want to be, is to put out a record every year or two and tour. And, if you can do that for, 20 years, it's Judas Priest, it's fucking rock and roll, dude. It's not a hard concept, but you have to have the right, it's hard to find every piece, that's the hardest part.
It evolves too, man. I mean, down the road, like let's say you crank out like 8 records, and you're writing your 9th record. It's super difficult not to fall into this cycle of rewriting the same music or falling into like a formula. So like when somebody hears it, they're like, oh yeah, that's a new song from that band or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, just always grow. And I think that's by finding new music and finding new, or not new music, maybe new old music, like getting into a new, like jazz, like you said, or finding a new creative, inspiring outlet.
Hell yeah, dude.
But I'm always doing that shit. But
I love going to Amoeba Music and just looking into like the used records and just pick something out. Like I don't even know.
Is that is that the bottom floor? It's like the dollar fucking pick for days down there. Yeah, dude, I did that one time. That was sick.
Yeah, you just find new music. Fuck it.
Yeah,
and that new to you, like right.
Yeah,
old music that's new to you.
Yeah, and it may be on like the cover art alone, like the name of the band, the picture of the band, and that's what I think a big with us. We love trying to do that, like all the old. That was what they did back in the day, it kind of was a staple, and I think you can judge a badass band by just looking at the name of a band or a picture of the band or the art, the artwork, I think yeah.
That's how I found Molly Hatchet. I mean,
yeah, dude, and that's kind of why we got Adam Burke to do ours, because all those, Flirting with Disaster, all those covers, beating the odds like that. I mean, that's the most epic artwork right there, dude. Some fucking The Death Dealer. I mean, fuck, I mean, that's so epic. But so we're stoked on You gotta get do you have a record? You scoop a record yet? I need to send you a record if not, because it's sick.
I don't have the vinyl yet, and I do have a vinyl collection. So
dude, I'll send you a little care package. How about that? Some little ship loot, brother. But yeah, it's cool to have the art once you see it like on the vinyl and like the big. It's fucking tight, dude. You'll dig it. Add it to your collection, yeah, man. Because it looks like you're into the rock and roll and you like the beer too, huh? Rock and roll beer, dude.
Rock and roll beer guy, man.
Beer guy.
I looked up. It said you guys made a beer.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like, I knew you'd said that, and so I was like, man, we did. We've gotten 2 made, and they were both by this dude. His name's Steven Jones, and he's Oliver Ales Brewing Company. I think it's Oliver Brewing Company now, based out of Baltimore, Maryland. But he's got like a tasting room in there. But he's been like a master brewer for 20-something years. He's from the UK, And he did the last one we did was actually the single of our record called Crown of Lies, which we have that out everywhere. It's on iTunes. We have on our page, YouTube, anywhere. But he made a beer to kind of push is like we had a custom 7-inch come out, which was like we had basically had a Roy Gallagher cover. We had like a deep cut and plus the single. And so we got Ripple Music to put out this limited 7-inch, like old school days. You know, we're only going to do like 100 of these, fucking scoop them up. And so Steven decided to do like a beer release with the same like 7-inch artwork, but on the can. So he had these limited cans of like the same art so they can kind of be a collector's thing. Nice. And had a big release. But basically it's that one he did was a double IPA. And you know more about. I just know. See, I don't drink anymore. I used to drink a fuck ton, so I don't know like to taste. But I'll read off, and you'll probably know. Bittered and dry hopped with Centennial inspired by our album. So it looks like a double IPA, 8.5%. Nice. Aggressive amounts of Galen and Centennial hops, dry hops. Yeah, so that was cool to just have. I still have like a couple cans just because I'm like, man, I'm going to just keep this and one day it'll be all like fucking mutant in 20 years and I'll drink it and die. The Crown of Lies got me.
Oh, man. I have a few of those that I'm like, they've been in my house for 10 years. I don't even want to open it right now.
Yeah, it's like, no. But so that was cool. And he actually did a recent, we played down at a bar in Baltimore and he got a mini keg. It sold out at the bar, but he's really cool. He's a fucking music lover. He's actually doing this whole line with bands and labels, which is really, really cool, where he's pairing, a label to promote with one band and then doing a beer in regards to that band. So it's a great concept he's doing. And he's only done like 3 or 4 of them, but we were one of the first. And yeah, he brought a keg out, hung out. He's a rock and roller, man. He grew up, listening to the good shit in the UK in the 80s. So he saw a bunch of the great shit. And he loves Kiss, which I fucking love Kiss. So it's fucking awesome. And he made us one other beer too. You want me to tell you about that? I'm sure you. Sure. This is the one I mean, the IPAs are all right, but this was the one that we even had a tasting here at a big brew house in Dallas for it. It was on 420. It was fucking badass. The name of the beer is called Hot Smoke and Heavy Blues, and that's kind of why we did the release on 420. Nice. But it's a song we have, and basically this one was a oat stout, fucking beefy motherfucker, cherry wood smoked malt. And basically one batch he did a bourbon soaked barrel, and one batch he did a red wine soaked barrel. Ooh. So. Yeah, dude, but it would be a 6-month, whatever you call ferment or whatever you put it in the barrel for a while. Uh-huh. But yeah, it was smoky and like
that's just aging it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but it would like soak up like you could really taste like the wine one. It was crazy. It was almost like it was the fruitiness in it, But then the whiskey one was one of the. I mean, you could drink 2 of them and you'd be so fucked up. It was like I think 10.2%, and it was a kick your ass beer for sure, dude. But. That was more low key. That was the first one before he really got his production, like got canning going. But yeah, if you're ever out that way, man, check it out. Oliver Ailes Brew House. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out, man. I want to reach out to him too because I like the idea of working with bands and doing beer things. I mean, that was the original concept for the podcast. I was just going to do that, like talk about beer or talk to brewers and bands together. But then things started evolving and people, scheduling 2 people at once was kind of a pain in the ass. So
yeah.
I've just now we just talk about it,
Yeah. No, but that's why when you were telling me that in the room at the Hard Rock and then your name and everything, I'm like, yeah, it's cool. It's 2 different kind of cultures that are blowing up right now that are to support each other, and that it's pretty sweet that he's down to do that. And I think there's one out of Denver too, what True Brewing or
True Brewing, yeah. Chemists, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there are a lot of it's cool that the people are branching out to bands, and got a great thing. Yeah, Stephen Jones, man. I can send you his info just to say what's up. But like once we get this podcast, I'll shoot it to him. And he's a great dude, man. Cool cat.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to meet him or talk to him. There's a couple dudes too. I mean, like Todd Hogg from he was in Surly Brewing. Now he's at 3 Floyds in Chicago.
Okay.
He's from Power Mad. I believe I'm saying the name right of the band.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a couple dudes that are in bands and brew beer, and it's really cool to see, man. It is 2 things that I enjoy in life: beer and music. And I like putting them together
and having a good time.
Hell yeah. I mean, and now living in California, the marijuana business is obviously booming out here too. Like,
Hell yeah.
I don't know.
That's
I'd
the
like,
mother, bro. That's why I love I'm a weedsman is what I like to call it. I'm a weedsman. Yeah, that's my my sweet leaf. Yeah, I love smoking. I can't wait for Texas.
Are you a functioning weed man? Like,
Oh yeah, man. I think
you don't have panic attacks or
last
anything
10
like
years.
that?
No, I'm a true for life. I think I don't know. It just helps me in a lot of ways for a lot of different things, and it's a true power plant, man. And it does wonders. And I can't go without smoking. I feel it's my medicine. Like honestly, people say that shit. I cannot smoke. It's not like it's like I need it, but it's like it just gets me who I am. So
For
that's.
sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why I think if it helps one person, man, if it can help in any state, why can't it be accessible to anybody? Like you do not want it's. I know it's the whole government and pharmaceuticals, but I mean, fuck, dude, help people. It's a damn weed that grows like out of the ground. You don't even have to fucking do anything. Like I know it blows my mind. Like the compassion for mankind that we don't uphold in our society. That fuck, man, like we're doomed, But I just keep trying to stay positive and just spread the love.
Well, it is. Look, I'll give them a little bit of credit and say that things are definitely better.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
man.
we have weed legal in multiple states.
17.
It should be legal.
I think 17, yeah.
Yeah, it should be all of them, but at least we can say we got 17.
No, it's going to take time. I think too, the big thing is money now. I think people are seeing that they can turn a state around financially in under 3 years, and that's...
Yeah, Colorado's booming.
Yeah, I mean, I think they put like 16 million to the education system within the first year. I mean, every other state probably saw that and was like, what? And then not to mention like the other 20 that went to infrastructure. I mean, every state needs it. I've seen every state's under construction. Every state needs money, It's coming. Like you said, we're on the right path. I think it's coming. Before you know it, they're just trying to, it's coming, brother.
Well, now here in California, I just read that the medical psilocybin mushrooms bill is being presented.
Damn, that's fucking, dude, that shit does some great shit to you, man. Mushroom, that's cool though, to legal, like, wow, that's far out, man.
Yeah, I would like that. Obviously, in a very well controlled situation. I've had my experience with it, and I just, I don't think it's something that you could like a dispensary, like for weed. I don't think it should be like that.
I think it should be medical.
Yeah.
I think it should be medical. You have
to. You definitely take a test or something. And
I think it has to be like, because that's a big psychological spin, is because it's the microdosing is a big thing for anxiety and depression. And I could say personally for me, I've done that before, microdosing, where you just eat a little bit of mushroom, like less than a gram or a gram a day, spread out into little chunks. But it basically, you're not all shroomed out, but it's doing stuff to your brain activity, And I think it should definitely be like a medical, if they can control it, but not like you said. That's why Amsterdam freaked out for the longest time, is people would go get magic mushrooms and fucking lose their mind and smoke all this shit out in the streets, But I think I don't know,
it's an issue. It's an issue of people in self-control, really.
Yeah.
People don't have self-control. I mean, that's why you have crackheads and meth heads everywhere that are like on the street, because they just have no self-control. Because I mean,
fucking
they're zombied out, man. And I think I'm great. I think I'm fortunate that I don't really have an addictive personality. I do, like, when it comes to stupid shit, like collecting. I collect a bunch of stupid shit. I have a bunch. Like anytime I go backstage for a show, I keep the laminate, or I have all my comic books, or I have there's just, I collect almost nonsense. I have a fucking pin collection, like shit like that. Yeah. But I think that is my release, so that I don't get hooked on like cocaine or fucking whatever. Like I can do it responsibly like an adult, and then never do it again. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
But I think that with mushrooms, like, that's something that even if I think it's super helpful. I want people to do it. But I want you to be careful with it too, because you can easily fuck that up.
Yeah, it's got to be controlled. It's a fungus for sure. I think, but medical, like, that's kind of cool though. If it could, like, the same thing, if it could help one person, like, in a medical stance, that's fucking cool, man. Because, like I said, I mean, if I had access to that every day, I probably could, and it would make me feel better. Like, I don't know, like,
sure.
It's crazy. The shit. I lived in Huntsville, Texas, for a while, and these two brothers lived in like 200 acres out there, and it would be a ritual to go get mushrooms out under a cow patty and make mushroom tea like once a week. Dude, that shit for jamming, man, like creativity, I'd just be on fucking cloud nine, dude. It was crazy. But yeah, it's a crazy thing. I've never had a bad time with it, but it's all in your head, you know, I guess. Like what they say with drugs is like self-control, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's so many mind-altering drugs already in the market right now that people are doing on a daily basis, like Adderall and fucking Xanax and all that shit. Like, at least the mushrooms we know help if you control the dosage yourself, and you're selling these like capsules that are like 20 milligrams, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely helped me with creativity. With the band, I mean, our best music came out when we were all shrooming and living in a house together.
We're just jamming, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's why we would write some really crazy shit. Like it. I've had people tell me straight up, they'll be like, "Hey, man, were you guys fucking up?" I'm like, "No, dude, we were on point. You're just not getting the time signature." But it's like once it clicks, you'll know, man. It's one of those that hits him and probably like, fuck, you're right, dude. I got it. That's tight. We would do shit like that all the time just to fuck with the audience, because I mean, we were all fucked already in the head from shrooming out and whatever. So we're gonna fuck with them too, and like even live we would fuck with our songs live a little bit just to change it up, make it heavier. Like if the show's going heavy, we're gonna go heavy.
That's cool.
The crowd's moshing and
if they're showing you that energy, like, all right, we'll fucking bust out them heavy riffs, man.
Yeah, dude.
That's cool.
Have you ever explored with like LSD or anything like that?
Dude, I've had never had LSD, dude. I've had acid before several times.
Isn't that the same thing?
I haven't. I guess it is. But it wasn't like on a. I guess it was. Yeah, because I had a drip of acid that was it is.
Yeah, it's LSD. Yeah. They just put it. Sometimes they put it on paper or
paper
cubes or something.
Okay. Well, I've done it a handful of times, and last time was a very bad trip, and I kept reliving the same like 7 things over in my head for like 8 hours, and
man.
Yeah, it was that's why honestly for me it's like mushrooms, I can't have a bad trip for some reason. So after that, like I stay away. But have you? Yeah, you get down on some LSD?
Oh man, yeah. Well, in the past, I haven't done it in a long time. Because of that same thing. The last trip was bad. The last trip was me curled up in fetal position in my drummer's couch, like, what's happening?
Yeah, what's going on? Make it stop.
Why is time frozen and then it rewinds? Like, it was bad, dude.
Oh yeah, man, I've been there, brother.
Yeah, mushrooms definitely don't give you. I mean, they can get you depending on how much you do. Like I've done the Bill Hicks heroic dose, and that will fuck you up because
What's the Bill Hicks heroic dose?
I don't even remember the number. It's a lot.
It's like a handful.
It's like 10 grams. Or shit. Like just eat a whole giant bag.
And, you can eat an ounce of mushrooms and fucking take a trip.
Yeah, like my buddy actually, one of the first times I did it, my buddy had a guy who would grind it up and put it in capsules with ginseng and vitamin C.
Damn.
And the vitamin C apparently and the ginseng would like help get it to activate faster or something. I don't know, whatever. Well, I ate a couple of the capsules and I'm like, how much is in that? And he's like, well, there's like 4 caps in each capsule. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
No.
1 per capsule, like fuck.
And this was the second show I ever performed with the band. Like we were playing a real, big show outside.
Damn.
A bunch of, hundreds of people there, and I'm really hard tripping on mushrooms. And,
several capsules.
Yeah. And I'm standing on stage, and it was a rare cold night in Florida. It was up, I think it was, like 50 something. 40 something. It wasn't that cold, but for Florida, it's freezing.
Yeah.
And I just remember like singing, and you could see like I was blowing steam out of my mouth because of the cold weather.
Yeah.
But it looked like fire coming out of my mouth, and it would hit the lights, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm breathing fire.
I can feel the vibrations.
Oh my god, it was so crazy.
That's fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
I bet that was like one of your best shows, though.
I mean, for me, it was.
It's all like the Family Guy when they're like Lois and him are all singing out of key and they're like acting like they're like Led Zeppelin and then they flash out of reality like la 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 la, like not making any sense. Like fuck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who knows, dude? I've played shows. I played a show completely like still tripping, like 10 hours into an acid trip, and that was ridiculous.
Yeah,
I was told it was a good show, but I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, you're like, man, I wasn't even there. I was out of my body on that one.
So I'm assuming since you've done acid and mushrooms and all that, and you smoke weed, you're into the whole out of body experience thing.
Oh yeah, what? Dare you ask DMT?
Well, you know, you can smoke DMT, but your body also produces it. Your brain produces it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like do the floats and stuff. Like
the flotation tanks. Yeah, my buddy was talking about it the other day. He did it, and apparently, here's something I didn't think about, which might be a problem for some people. But you can't really go in there if you have any kind of scrape or nick on your skin because it's all salt water. So while you're in there, you can get in there, but the whole point is to get rid of your senses, and you're gonna feel that pain while you're in there.
Yeah,
feel the stinging, burning sensation.
You're gonna be fucking burning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't even ever think about that because I'm thinking, oh yeah, I want to go do that, and then I thought about it because my hands are always cut up. I'm prone to getting like cuts from like beer bottles. I work in the industry, so it's not just because I'm an alcoholic, but like I'm always carrying cases of beer and like beer caps and. You know,
you're just working like hauling shit.
I got working hands, you know, and
you're working man. You're a goddamn working man. I do working man stuff, man.
Yeah, but if I stick my hands in salt water, it's gonna hurt. I'm not gonna be able to do that.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, I've never tried it, but I mean, I've watched like the Joe Rogan talk on it, and I know a couple of people that swear by it, but it's taken them honestly like, and that's the thing is a lot of people think like 1 or 2 times, and yet honestly they say it takes like 3 to 5 times to unlock to completely let go. And that's like, you know what I mean, to be able to completely let go and experience that. Yeah, man, they said it's changed their fucking lives. So I'm down to try it. And that's the kind of same thing with the low dose mushrooms. Some dude says you can do it in the flotation tank and you'll like basically lose your mind. But you'll discover every inch of every parallel and dimension in the fucking.
I don't know if I want to do all mushrooms on flotation.
I don't know. Crazy. That does sound like a bad time. Actually, I don't know.
I've definitely been to in a state of mind out of my control too. It wasn't like drug related, but I've said this countless times. But I had a bad car accident, and I experienced what happens to you when you die.
Wow. Yeah.
So I kind of I saw some crazy shit.
Yeah.
While I was under, and when they brought me back, my whole life was figure that out. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. Figure that out. Figure out what that was that you saw.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's when I started doing mushrooms and LSD and traveling the world, going to Peru, going to like different countries, going to Europe, exploring, trying to find every aspect, every answer I could get from everyone. And then kind of, piece it together.
No, that's fucking awesome though, man. Like, did you go to like some shamans and shit in Peru? Like, what is that? You can smell ayahuasca or whatever that is. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. Ayahuasca is a weird thing. It's one of those weird situations where it's a communal thing, where like acid and mushrooms is all based on the person and the type of mentality that person has. That's the type of trip that you're having. Yeah, with ayahuasca, it's kind of a uniform thing. Like you take the drink, you vomit, and then you start tripping, but you can communicate to the same. Like everybody claims that they're communicating to this like tree spirit, or like earth, like Mother Earth. You're communicating with the essence, soul of Earth.
Yeah,
and it's interesting because that particular drink lets you speak to the planet.
That's crazy. That's insane. Yeah, but I mean that's why I'm into all this is just because I think we have a powerful mind, dude, and I think we can tap into it. You know, I think it's fucking crazy, this shit that, or find like drugs like that, or that you can drink and fucking, you never know what could come to you in one of those drinks. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, you could save the fucking world, you know? Like, if the right dude sees the right shit, I don't know. I think of like a good way of that, you know? That's crazy. Fuck. I bet that was a trip, man. I bet that was a fucking...
That was very interesting, I'll say
Yeah.
that. And then there's, you know, I ultimately the conclusion that I came to was when I finally realized what was going on with our consciousness and our ability to leave our bodies every night when we go to bed, you know, when we leave our bodies. And that's what people recall dreams. They're not really make-believe. Some of them...
Astral projecting and shit.
Yeah, some of them may seem like make-believe, but you're not. You're astral projecting. You're out of your body and experiencing a whole other frequency. And, like,
Yep.
you know, if you can learn to manipulate that, like,
Yep.
be aware while you're in that state or lucid state, it's fucking magical, dude. And then, you know,
that's my lady is able to. That's what's crazy. She always is crazy on that. She's taught me a lot, told me a lot. I can't, but yeah, she's totally in tune with that shit, man. Like to interdimensional traveling, and like she'll even like I'll wake up to her like yelling at like some kind of figure that she sees like in the hall in that dimension. Like it's fucking crazy, dude. Like it's some fucking crazy shit. Lucid dreaming and all that, man. It's fucking... It's wild. You can astral project? Can you astral project?
Yes. Well, I do it like unwillingly at this point. Like,
yeah,
I'm actually
that's how she is actually too.
Yeah, like,
like
I'm trying to tune it down. Like, you know, I'm trying to do it less because it does get confusing sometimes, man. Like, there's, you know, sometimes where I wake up and it's like, well, wait a minute, like something's off, and then
you're stressed out, like. Stressed out too, like waking up stressed out, or like have you ever done?
Yeah, there's no rest. That's why you have to meditate to kind of get any kind of rest. But who gets the time to meditate these days? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have that time.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah,
like,
I just think too much.
For me, let's put it this way: I'm the type of guy that works. I work until I pass out. My girl says like she gives me shit all the time. She's like, "It's so unhealthy what you're doing." I'm like, "No, I have to do work. I work until my body shuts down." Like that's
when it goes off.
Yeah, if I'm on the couch and I'm on a computer and I'm writing and all of a sudden my body shuts down, that's when I'm sleeping.
Yeah,
like there's no option.
Yeah,
like, it pisses me off. I'm like, God damn it, I was writing. You know, like
that was a bit of a great idea. Fuck.
What happened?
Sorry.
Yeah, so now like my life, it used to be all exploratory and like let me find the other dimensions and all this shit, and like once I got those answers, now it's like, how do I stay alive and productive? That's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not. I have to finish this game that we're playing of human life. So how do we keep going?
Level 100 superhuman character.
Seriously, yeah. I'm in Skyrim or whatever. You know, like I'm now this character. I have to finish it, and when the game is done, then I can play another game, maybe.
Go into my next realm, yeah. Wherever my spirit wants to take, whatever it wants to embody, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, shit, dude. I only have one last thing here that I wrote down that I wanted to talk to you about, and it was your opinion. We kind of touched on it but we touched on it when we were talking about Vegas and like other things like that. People taking themselves seriously, but. What do you think about the state of the music industry? Like, we're in a situation where bands are able to release more music now than ever because of technology advancements, and you have computers at home and studios and Bandcamp and Facebook and all that shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like there's less love for what you're doing and what we were doing, which is, you know, real rock music or real creative music, not just like repetitive dance like nonsense that's kind of taken over everyone. Like you look at you know, not that I was a huge Papa Roach fan, but you know, they were making rock music, and now you go and you listen to it and it's like club music,
radio club. Yeah,
and like Linkin Park as well, another one of those examples. they were a rock band. There were drums and guitars there at one point. I don't know what happened to them, but
no, synthesizers and fucking overdubs of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard, man, because like the true passion of like the rock and roll essence is, people say it all the time, rock is dead. I don't think it's dead. It's just people are seriously not putting enough effort to keep it alive or something. I don't know. That's why
it's there. It's
just
on the, yeah. No, yeah, for sure. It's there. It's just on the underground. And I think now with like, you know, like labels like Ripple Music and Easy Rider and fucking a bunch of those underground labels that are signing kick-ass bands that are touring. That's a big thing, I think, with today is like, you even see the old bands doing it. Like ZZ Top is out there touring. Like fucking Jimmy Buffett we just saw. Like the Eagles are doing, like they were doing some of their shit. Like bands are having to tour again to try to make money because there's no album sales, obviously. But I think even on our level, it's like the bands that are still doing it are like staying relevant or putting out a record and touring, like, you know, several months out of the year, just because with the internet and oversaturation, if you don't put a show in front of someone, I don't think you can turn someone into a fucking believer these days. There's just too much shit out there. Because every 2 seconds, like you said, there's something new. There's some new hot band out. There's some new with a chick singer or with a chick guitar, you know, like, or there's some new, like 2 super bands that just came out, you know. It's like, I don't know. I just think, like we were kind of talking earlier, you said, like, I think that the test of time is like the bands that are still going to be doing it in 20 years are the bands that all along were the real deal rock and roll bands, you know? And I don't know, man. It's just, we're just going to keep doing us. And I think it's been working, man. And we've met a lot of bands out there that are doing it and fucking trying to keep it alive. And I think the big guitar thing was cool because I think, you know, there's not a lot of people keep saying there's no real guitar like hero, but I think shit like this, like having a guitar model or like a fucking, you know, like it's putting it back out there to the people that like, holy shit, people are kind of caring about music again, you know. And I think with the vinyl, you know, influx, I think that's been great because it's been wanting bands to put shit out. So yeah, it's a bunch, but it's great. It's great to have the technology, but I think at the same time, like you said, it strips away the realness that music is, which it's people just sitting there playing their instruments. Like you're not going to put anything patched through to the front of house. You're playing your fucking lines coming out of your amps, like, you know, or going to have any like, you know, and that's, I think, half of the bands out there that are on a touring level, more than half, I would say, like on a huge touring level, like tour bus level. If you were to do that, there's no way they could have a rock and roll show. There's no way they could play a show if you were to basically take away like samples and, you know, whatever tracks, Pro Tools tracks, whatever else, like. And that's, the music is music. It's not meant to be, even though, you know, technology's right now. I think play the music. You know, that's what it's called. It's music. It's not you faking it. You know, fuck.
Yeah,
but,
dude.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would give people shit all the time about that. Like, write the music that you can perform. Don't.
Yeah,
But, you know, yes, test yourself. Yeah, push yourself, like, to hit a higher note in that song. But push yourself to do it. Like, actually go sing it and pull it off multiple times so that you can pull it off live, not just on the recording, like not having to have a backing track for that, you know? Like,
not to have the harmony, like,
Yeah, you want harmony? Fucking teach the rest of your band how to sing.
Yeah, dude, like everyone can learn that shit. Come on, man. But,
dude, I've seen people, there's dudes drumming, singing, and playing keyboards at the same time. Get the fuck out of here. Learn some shit.
Yeah. No, I just was rewatching that. Have you seen that, Eagles documentary, the band? I don't know if you like the band. Honestly, I used to hate the band, the Eagles.
I liked them when I was a kid, man. I grew up on that shit. My dad would listen to it. So.
See, and that was like, I did, but then I guess I got into him and like, I don't know, like Witchy Woman, that song's insane. Take It Easy. But I just watched the documentary. If you haven't watched it, like honestly made me, it's on Netflix. It made me into, like, I'm actually a huge fan of them now, man. Like they were musicians. They were fucking, I mean, their harmonies too. They do this one a cappella part in the documentary with Don Henley, was it Glenn Fry and Don Felder? Is that who it is? Yeah. But dude, it's crazy, and I'm a huge fan now. Like, I've always had all their vinyl. Like, I have a pretty good record collection. That's what I like to collect. I have a fuck ton of records. Yeah, and so I really, like, after watching that, I went back to the whole Discog, and I forgot what there was some. Okay, so sorry, I'm talking. I like to spam a lot, especially I just smoked. Sorry, dude. But I was just thinking about this, like the greatest hits record. I think it sold 1 million records a week for 18 months straight.
Jesus Christ.
In 74 when that came out, and it's still, I think Thriller just like surpassed it, but it was overall album sales of all time. But you'd never think about, dude, that was the most sales in a straight time ever, but as overall it's second of all time. So like that's some shit, dude. Like people were into that was a big ass band, man, you know. It took me a while to really get down and check that out, but yeah, I'm stoked that I kind of refound them, and you should check it out, or anyone into the Eagles. They're not into the Eagles, but yeah, it's cool, dude.
I'll definitely check it out. I was a fan when I was a kid, and I mean, even Joe Walsh, like solo stuff.
Rocker, yeah, fuck yeah.
That fucking song he wrote about Life's Been Good, or whatever it is.
Oh yeah,
he's talking about just partying and limousines and fucking...
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, dude. What was it? And then Life in the Fast Lane. That song's fucking party time. They tell a story about that whole song, but you'll blow your mind on that one, dude. Nice. Yeah, I think Glenn Frey tells the story on why they wrote that fucking song. But yeah, man, it's cool. Those dudes rule. But
speaking of dudes that rule, before we go, I wanted to talk to you too. I wanted you to tell me a little bit about being on tour with Blue Oyster Cult.
Damn. Well, we didn't get to tour with them. We played one show.
Oh, I thought it was a tour. I thought you guys had a...
Nah, dude, I fucking wish. No, we did but it was... Yeah, we played a show down there in Houston. Probably about with them, and it was, I don't know, I would say close to 1,000 people showed up. And the cool thing was that they were just fucking, like, Buck was such a rad dude, and I think it's what Eric Bloom is the other original guitar player, singer guy, but like they were just like the coolest motherfuckers, dude. They were just hanging side stage, like they'd sound checked, you know. They weren't the type that like disappear. Like they're the real rockers, the real deal like still doing it, you know. But yeah, they hung out at the end of our set. I kept telling them because like they heard some of our sound check. We were doing like some Robin Trower, like Bridge of Sighs, and some old shit that like those dudes appreciate, you know. And they're probably like, "What the fuck? These dudes are playing some Robin Trower shit over here. Who are they?" And so that kind of like got their attention, and so we got off, and they were all going to the hotel before the show after sound check, and I was like, "Hey, make sure y'all show up at 9:00 because we'll be hitting it." And Buck Dharma looks over and he's like, "Oh, we'll be here. We'll make sure we're here." And yeah, they were side staging in the crowd. Like I saw them at one point checking us out, saw a couple songs, and into the set, all of them, even their like the road manager, their front of house guy, everyone was just super fucking stoked, and we're like, "Yeah, well, let's do a tour. Like that would rule, man." But it's cool because our music, I think, is that's energy in the 70s, and I think fans that even like our folks, like my pops and his friends that grew up on like the Nugent, and all that, like they're seeing all that vibe in our music, everything from like the swag, the style, the what we talk about in our songs, it's all kind of like that same kind of thing. It takes them back to the 70s where that was every band was killing it, rock and rolling it, and there was a lifestyle, I would say would be the difference. There's a lifestyle around rock and roll and music, which at these festivals you see like the Psycho Vegas, but that's not like every show. Back then, every show would be like a Psycho Vegas. You roll up to a show on a weekend, and everyone will be in their choppers and their vans, partying in the parking lot, and fucking ready for the rock and roll show.
Fuck yeah.
I think that's lost, but
yeah, it has been lost. I mean, we had that vibe going on in Miami when we would play a show out there. There wasn't a lot of like South Florida had a very popular scene for a while. And then at some point, it just died. Like, bands like Nonpoint when they were still a local band, there were sold out shows every weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And local shows were packed to the brim and all that shit. Once they got signed and they disappeared and they were touring the world, like that whole scene died. And there was a few bands here and there. Like we started back in 2006 and like we, played every show we could get our fucking hands on, and it just became a vibe of like, if you're coming to a DeSever show, there's a party going on. You just have to look for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like we're probably out front in the cars with coolers laid out and fucking drinking, and there's like 100 people around us just chilling.
Yeah. Like the old school days. No worries, come hang out. Like fucking don't be weird and have a good time, you know?
Right. And if you're weird, make sure you're really weird so we can all laugh at you.
Yeah, be extra weird because that's even better. I mean, fuck.
Yeah. Now you're the weird guy we want to have around because you're going to do something funny.
Because you're fucking weird. Like us all.
Right, exactly. Yeah, dude, I do miss that. I miss that. I want to get in a band again and start playing again. I mean, we're not broken up. Like, we're on hiatus. So
yeah.
we have a new album that we wrote, and we're going to eventually record it and eventually do it again. But I still want something local. I want something local here in Long Beach or something that I could just get on stage and party and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, and just enjoy yourself. Where were you at in Florida? Like Miami or what?
Yeah, Miami, like way south, close to the Keys, you know, and we had this enormous house out there that was, you know, the party house.
Fuck yeah, that's tight. We recently did a cruise out of Miami. We did Shiprock, so it was like, you know, it's, you know, Papa Roach, Seven Dust, all them. We just did that in January. But that was our first time to actually go to Florida. And dude, I think like you're saying, because I know y'all had that whole death metal scene too for a while, but it went in waves. Like, it's just so far down there that some bands like can't justify coming down. And I know from our booking experience, we did all that by ourselves for like 3 or 4 years. That's like hard. But dude, we had our first show in Miami at Church? Is that
Churchill's? Yeah, Churchill's.
But yeah. Dude, and that motherfucker was one of the best shows of the whole tour we did. Like, it was like 250 people there, and it was like everything from like the punk rockers to the fucking death metal heads to the rock and rollers, but everyone was just partying, dude. Like Florida is, Miami, that was a badass fucking show, and everyone just had a good time.
Yeah, Churchill's is the venue. That's the one place you go party.
I heard about. I've heard the history of all that shit, and like.
They filmed the porn in there, dude.
Damn, that's tight. Fuck yeah. Well, I ended up busting my fucking forearm. That show was so rowdy. I ended up getting on the bar for one part. Like, that was a packed room. I don't know. I think like 200 in that room is pretty packed, right? Like, butts to nuts to the soundboard. And then I crowd surfed. That was how, because the bar is off to the right. I got to the bar, guitar solo, crowd surfed to the stage, and they were so fucking rowdy that, you know, I went to go get back on the stage. You know, they'll kind of push you back up because the stage was small. These motherfuckers like pushed so hard, just like partying in the moment. Like, I almost did a front flip. They pushed so hard, like on my top end, and my arm came down and hit the monitor, and it just bust open. Oh. And it was the most rock and roll night though, because it was like the end of the set, and so I sit there on the ground. At first I was like, I just hit my arm hard as fuck, you know, sitting there, it's hurting, just finishing the like solo at the end. I look down, like blood's everywhere, and everyone's just like losing their mind. They're just like beer showers, like fucking like, it was fucking crazy, man. I appreciate that. We definitely got to go play there more, man. Miami was cool as fuck.
Yeah, Churchill's was always a good time. Every time we played there, we made that place our home, dude. Like, every time we had a show there, it was ridiculous. Another band that's from there that would play there, and the craziest shows I've ever seen in Churchill's was a Poison the Well show. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yeah. Damn, in that room, I bet that was wild.
Dude, it's a constant crowd surfing, people pushing, trying to like jump on top of each other. It was like you would actually feel panic at one point. Like, oh my God, I might die.
Is this controlled right now, or is this out of control right now? I'm like, what's going on? No, that's cool, man. We, that was a blast. But fuck, Florida. Hot as balls, though, dude. Humid.
I had to get out. I had to get out of it. It's too much.
Yeah, California's pretty nice. But y'all are getting some heat right now, huh, man?
Well, no, we just went through a heat wave, but right now we're good. Right now it's solid 70 degrees outside.
Back to the Cali fucking perfect weather.
Yeah, perfect weather. Yeah, it's insane, dude. Like, we get every once in a while a day or two of nonsense, but like, it's mostly awesome. In Florida, it was like, oh, it's 110 degrees and there's 3,000% humidity. You immediately start sweating. Your eyeballs are sweating when you walk outside.
Yeah, no point in showering. Fuck.
No, I just took a shower completely drenched immediately.
Yep, fuck all that. But the beach, so that's kind of tight.
Here's the thing: the closer I moved to the beach, the less I went.
That's funny.
At one point, I was living on Miami Beach, and I never went to the sand.
Damn.
You know, it was just like, and I'm like, nah, fuck that. That's crazy out there.
Yeah, too close now. I don't want to go.
Nah, yeah. It used to be a destination. Like, all right, let's go to the beach. So you take a 10-minute drive. But if you're living on the beach, it's like, nah, I'm good. It's right there. I can see it.
I guess in Texas, I don't have it, so I guess it's hard to imagine that. I'd be like, fuck, dude, I'm going every day. I think every time we do have any time, like in California, I'm always like, hey, let's just cruise down to the beach real quick. Let me get in the water.
That was actually every time I went to the beach, it was that. It was, there's a band in town and they've never seen the beach.
Yeah, let's take it to the beach.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the shows that would play at Churchill's or something like that, the bands would always end up crashing with us, because that's how I met Mike Hill from like Tombs and a bunch of bands. Anybody that goes by Miami, we would put them up, and
that's cool.
We would always, that was always like, all right, tomorrow morning, get your asses up at 8 a.m. We're going to the beach, and then you can hit the road for the next show if you want.
Yeah, that's great, man. Yeah, we got to hit Barcelona's beach. That was righteous this past European tour.
God.
Yeah, we had a whole day, so we went down to the fucking beach, man, and I got a fucking beach massage by some like hustling chick. She was hustling massages, dude, and I was just like $20 for like I think it was like 20-minute rub down. Not bad, but she did like my legs and got all my shoulders and shit, and I was just laying on them. Yeah, it was great, but it was a beautiful, beautiful women's everywhere. It was great.
Yeah, it's Barcelona. I mean, most of the Spanish women are beautiful, but then that's also a tourist spot. So like all the most beautiful people in the world go there.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, beautiful people. Beautiful people. See,
there's an example of bands changing. What the fuck happened to that guy? Oh my God.
He's lost it, I think, dude. He's gone.
Dude, he's gone. I've seen interviews and shit where I'm just like, no, that person's not there. He's clearly on cocaine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's gone.
And it's funny, dude. He played Churchill's nonstop back in the day. That was his place with the Spooky Kids before he he even became Marilyn Manson. Like, it was him and the Spooky Kids, and bringing out chickens to the show and fucking garbage bags full of blood, like pig's blood and shit. Like, it was crazy.
That's fucking crazy, yeah.
And now he's a fucking fashion icon. Like, really? What's happening?
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
I'm supposed to wear that suit you're wearing right now? Nah, I'm good. I'm just going to wear jeans.
Yeah, I'm a pass. Basil that.
No offense to him. If he wants to be on the podcast, I'd love to fucking talk to that guy. But, just because it'd be really interesting.
So Marilyn, if you're out there, bro.
Yeah, bro. If you're listening to my podcast, bro, give me a shout out.
Okay.
Well, anyway, dude, we're at an hour and 15, so I'm gonna wrap this up. If you want people to look up your band, Mothership, on Instagram or social media, I mean, do you guys do all that? I know it's not old school rock and roll, but it's necessary.
It is, man, and that's what's helped us a bunch. We have a fucking, badass followers, that just love supporting the Mothership and everything we do. And our Instagram's Mothership USA. Same with Facebook, or you can go also to mothershipHasLanded.com. And if you go there, you can pretty much bounce to our YouTube, or you can buy some music, merch store, Facebook, all that off mothershipHasLanded.com.
And you have any tours coming up, or you're taking a little break? I know you just came back from Europe recently. Yeah,
man, we're just we're gonna be chilling for a bit. Probably take some downtime, write some more tunes. We've actually been on tour since it was about January we left. We've been about January, and then we came home from Europe in the beginning of August. So we've been fucking booking. We did a whole bunch of the States a couple times, and did Europe for a month. And it's time to chill, write some new tunes. And I'm going out here to this cool little festival out in San Jose. Where are you at? You said where are you at?
I'm in Long Beach.
Long Beach. The San Jose's having this festival this weekend, the 16th, at the Ritz, and it's this cool little like old school venue, and it's called Epicenter is the name of the festival. And it's pretty cool. Like, this Heavy San Jose is this promoter that's starting to put on shows. And, dude, it's fucking, he wanted to fly me out. I'm jamming with this band called Great Electric Quest. They actually play the pool party, but they sound like a Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, like kind of throwback heavy metal band, and I'm do a cover with them and an original. But I was gonna like just jam with some dudes, so they flew me out there. I'm flying me out there, so I get to go hang in Cali for a couple of days. That'll be sick. But it's like High on Fire, Big Business.
Oh yeah, I heard about this show. Man.
Yeah,
I wanted to go, but it's like a 8-hour drive for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I always forget California's fucking
Huge.
so big. Yeah, but yeah, that'll be cool, man. I'm stoked to get back out to California, get to hang with some homies out in San Jose for a bit, and see some good peeps, and jam with some dudes. So that'll be kind of righteous. But other than that, man, I'm just gonna be laying low, writing music. We're gonna be jamming with the band and laying, just recharging them rock and roll batteries, bro.
For sure, it's necessary to stay like. Make people want more,
Yeah.
Like if you play like 4 years in a row, like some bands that go on tour for 3 years straight, it's like, guys, take a break.
Yeah. Build up that, cut a new song and release a new 7-inch and then fucking hit it again in like a year or something, like chill out for a bit and fucking rip it again, or a couple months, but yeah, it's good to be home. Still, like you said, don't know what to do with myself. Even, been home for a month. I'm just like fucking staring at the wall like, dude, what do I do? Like, I've already fucking played my computer game. I played guitar for 8 hours. Like, I fucking ran. I rode my bike. I played with my dog. Like, where do I go? I still have a load in. Like, what the fuck do I do?
Get yourself HBO Go and watch all of Game of Thrones. That'll take like a year of your life.
See, I need to get into that, man. I watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes of the first season forever ago, and I couldn't ever watch it. So I do need to just sit down and try it again, because I know everyone talks about it.
It's worth it. It took me a while to get into it, but after like the first couple episodes, I got really hooked, and it's worth it.
Yeah.
And I mean,
the book.
The books are different from what I've heard. I haven't read them.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's like 20 different people that are still alive in the books that are dead in the show.
The show, yeah. The show just said, "Fuck it, we got to kill everybody."
Yeah, we can't pay all these actors. Are you kidding?
You write the script. God damn it, new book.
Yeah. Well, cool, dude. Thanks so much for talking and chilling with me today for a bit.
Yeah, had a good time. It was cool. Yeah. It
was great catching up. And everybody check out Mothership online. Buy their records. I'm going to play a song before and after this episode so you guys can hear some as well.
Sweet.
And, thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, trip on the ship, everybody. Yeah, man. I'll talk to you soon, brother, man. Good chatting.
Cheers, man.